Everybody, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you taking some time out and learn a little bit about what we're doing. And we're privileged to have Kristen White with us. Kristen's a gym owner in Tennessee. She's a mother, a wife, business owner, been around for a while, and has really just embraced our products and what we're doing. And it's, sometimes with gym owners, they get inundated with a lot of people talking about stuff they have, and this our stuff's the best stuff, this stuff's real good stuff. But we're going to talk a little bit about that, and just for novices, right? For rookies who are out there hitting the gym, for people who are gym owners, trainers, we're going to help you out as well with some information. So we'll kind of run the gamut
Yeah, we're gonna have the
our
novice and the
experience, right?
experienced, and
Yeah.
it's a good combo, right? Because all you gym owners and your trainers can't live without the novice people, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it's good to get us all educated, but we kind of wanted to do like a just a little bit of information at a time because I think you can get really overwhelmed. And we're going to talk just freely with Kristen first. We want Kristen to tell us about yourself. Tell us about you, Kristen. We've known you for a long time, but tell us.
Sure. Yeah. A little bit about me is I have been in the fitness industry since 2004. So I started when I was a freshman in college. I started teaching group exercise as a part-time job and fell in love with fitness. Really before that, I was into the fitness world. I went to the gym before I went to school. I played sports through high school, middle school, all those things. But when I realized I wasn't probably going to be a collegiate athlete, I still wanted to be active. Um, so I transitioned to the fitness part of it. And so I fell in love with that. And then I started getting groups X certifications. And so I started teaching. I loved to be active, but it was also fun to watch other people get healthy with me. Even then, I was like 18 or 19. And I just fell in love with it. And I never left the industry, even though I did other things through college. And um, people don't know this about me, but I was actually a probation officer before I went full time into owning a gym and being full-time fitness. So little quirk, little tidbit there. I did that for 7 years, but I stayed doing all things fitness. I taught fitness before I went to work or and after some days, and then I did personal training through that as well. I've been a personal trainer now for 13 years. So I obviously kept like layering more of the fitness elements in. And then I've owned a gym now for almost 8. So obviously, it just keeps layering. It's kind of like when you start falling in love with something you like, you just keep developing it. And so that's what's happened here. And that's a little bit about my fitness journey and how I honestly found the products because when you're in the fitness community, you're hit with supplements. And let me tell you, in my 20s, I tried them all. I tried the things that were good for you, that were bad for you, that I shouldn't have been trying. There was one day I tried an energy drink that I don't even think they're legal anymore, by the way. And I had to have my dad come pick me up from the gym because I said, I can't drive home. I'm so shaky and I think I'm gonna have a heart attack. Like I literally had to call and be I'm so like wired. So people, those things are still out there. It's just not that one anymore. I don't know if y'all have seen headlines, but that new Alani drink, there's some new flavors out right now that are causing people to have stroke symptoms. You have to know what you are consuming. And so in 2013, maybe 2012, I really got into the supplement snob phase of my life, where I said, I've got to know what's going inside my body. My hormones were not correct. I wanted to have a baby. And for some reason, I couldn't get pregnant. I couldn't stay pregnant. And that's just me being candid and vulnerable here. There was no reason a 26-year-old could not. I was healthy. I looked healthy. I was the spitting image of health, but I couldn't sustain a pregnancy. Well, my hormones were not right. And I knew it had to be something either environmentally or I was putting in my body. And so I really got down to my shelves. I went going into what was going in my body every single day or what was going on me every single day, what I was breathing, what I was around. And I realized I was consuming soy every day and tons of things. We know soy disrupts estrogen. Too much estrogen makes your progesterone wrong. I was doing terrible synthetics. I was doing dyes, and I just really went down the rabbit hole of being what I call a supplement snob. And I started going, cleaning out my cabinets and getting what I considered the best of the best at the time before I found this line. And then I found this line, and I've never used a different product line because I don't have to even look anymore to wonder, is it gonna be a red flag? They do. I mean, I still look. It's fun. Like, I still get to look at the ingredients and just say, oh man, this is so intriguingly good. These people are so smart. And I'll talk about that in a little bit because they're much smarter than me. I just educated myself to know what I shouldn't put in because I I found out that certain things were causing my body to react a certain way. I did get pregnant and I had a baby. I only had one because I realized one was enough for me. She's a handful and perfect as she can be, but one was enough. But I got her, and I've continued to advance my health, and now I help other people. I hope get educated on products and food and exercise, and that's just kind of how I got going and continue to go. So now it's my full-time thing.
So I kind of like, I text you a lot, periodically, and I'm like, tell me about this, because you know what, you've become, and I've known you for 12 years probably. The thing is that, well, I've seen you also grow, but the
Yes.
thing is like your knowledge on ingredients, you've just really taken it under your belt, and you love it. You love investigating everything. You love checking it. And so when people are out there, they're like, they don't have time to do that. They fall in love with a package, oh wow, this looks great, and then
Yeah.
they turn it around, and then they don't even know what to look for ingredients, but they think it looks okay, right?
Right.
And then there are times when you're like, this is junk. And I love that I can ask you really sometimes some hard questions. And to me, it's hard, but you just spit it out and you're just like, oh, I got this, and you let me know. And so I love working with you, and I love having just your knowledge. I love it. And so, one of the things, and you said when you own a gym, everybody comes in and tries to really get you to buy their line. Tell me what it is about this line that you love so much and why.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So people come in all the time saying, would you put this on your shelves or would you be willing to try this? And honestly, I'll say, let me see it. So I upset people very often because I will say, let me see it. If yours is better than mine, I'll put it up there because I am a believer in integrity. I want to take the best. I want to look the best. I want to feel the best. I want to give the best to my parents, my kid. Like if yours is better than mine, I'll switch. That's just how I am. I'll switch. The problem is I still have never found a product line better. I have found some products that I've said, yeah, there's no red flags in your product. Actually, I got to send that message to someone last week. Hey, kudos. There's no red flags in your product. The problem is they fairy dusted it. So you are spending a fortune on nothing. But there's no synthetics and there's no dyes and they didn't put any maltodextrin in it. Good job for them. But you're paying a whole lot of money for almost nothing. So you got to look at that. So what are you paying for? You're not even getting a big blend. I know when I buy my product, not only am I getting a good ingredient source, I'm getting a good formulation, but I'm getting an abundance of it, and I'm getting such a powerful blend that they are making it where it's so bioavailable that when it goes in, my body's going to actually absorb it. people don't know how to to look for the cofactors there too. So that's also important. So I'm upset people when I say it's just not as superior, and I'm sorry, but you should try mine because let me tell you why mine's good and why mine's actually a little bit better. So sometimes I get them to switch over and sometimes I don't. But that's why I've never switched product lines. And I'm 40 now, but I don't feel like I've aged. In that period, if anything, I actually think I feel better. Maybe my knees don't, because I've done a whole lot of I've done a whole lot of wear and tear to myself on that. Um, but that's my fault. As John said, I like to lunge a lot, but I still can do it all. I don't feel old, and I really attribute it to all the nutrition and taking care of your cells. You have to take care of yourself from the inside out. And that's really where fitness does come in, because when you want to perform, it's not just about the lifting of the weight. Yes, that's a part of it. It's not just about running the miles, and it's not just about doing all of the exercise. You have to take care and nourish those cells if you want them to perform a certain way. And I am so performance based more than physique based, but the physique will always come if you nourish the right way. It will
Right.
always come.
And I think that's why we really wanted to do this, is because we didn't want to inundate people just talking about product, 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 product. We want to educate people on, like, it's not just about the gym. It's a balance. It's a balance, and you've got to nourish what's inside. And how do you start, And so I'm going to leave this up to you, like how
Okay.
you want to begin this conversation. But I also want everybody to know who's on here, we are going to be doing segments of this. So next Wednesday, put it on your calendar, and then we'll let you know next Wednesday when the next one is. Because I think there's some travel stuff going on. So we just want to make sure that you know where to turn to and where to go. And you're not going to be inundated by this product, this product. We're going to educate you on product, but we're going to educate you and tell you why
Yes.
it's important. And so I'm
Yeah.
going to let you kind of lead into that, and I'll just pipe in with some questions.
Okay, sure. So I'm going to share my screen. I have a few slides to share because I did think we should talk about a couple products tonight, just so people can know, like, where do you start if you wanted to try one? If it was fitness based, or if it was, I mean, everybody thinks they want to lose weight, but there's is it weight loss or is it wellness that you're wanting to achieve? Because to me, it should always be wellness, and the weight loss comes after. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm just going to do a few slides to tell you a little bit about some of the products and why I'm passionate about them, and then how I picked these two to start with tonight, because then next week we can always advance it. But why I think that these are the two starters if you were wanting to go on a wellness and fitness journey. So let me share. Hopefully y'all can see screen. If you cannot, let me know. Can you? Y'all give me a
You
thumbs
can
up.
see it. We got it.
We got it.
Okay, great. Okay. So if this is the first time you're ever being on and being invited on, I always like to tell everybody the name of the company that makes the products is called Partner Co. This is an umbrella company with a bunch of different nutritional lines, and I'm going to talk about two nutritional lines tonight, one being from the Slenderize line and one being from our Nutrify line. I kind of touched on this earlier, but I didn't go into the seal. So in 2012, when I said I was becoming a supplement snob, it was because of this. You have to look for this in the supplement industry, because the FDA does not do this for us in the United States. You must look for companies that are going to go to bat for you and say, we are going to let you know we are bringing you a quality product. We want you to know they are tested. We want you to know they are certified. We want you to know they are ingredient source, they are manufactured right, and they are made in clean labs, not a garage. Because sometimes you have no idea where you are getting your product from. And that is what absolutely all of these products are going to be. They're going to be, some of them will be on the Cologne list. The two I'm going to talk to you tonight are, so all of your athletes could take these. They will not get red flagged for any, you know, steroid use or anything like that if they were to run races or be in sports. Same with the NSF, Good Face Project. We have USP seals on them, so it's United States Pharmacopoeia. It means they are going to be manufactured, your body is going to process them and uptake them well, okay? The other reason I was very passionate about the product line was because the formulators. We have a scientific advisory board. Look at the people that are on this. This is when I said they're very smart, much smarter than me. We have pharmacologists, toxicologists, we have nutritionists, we have chief medical officers. We have all of these people putting their hand in and saying, this is going to work for this is going to work for this in that body, this is going to work for this, and this is going to be a full package on this product. This was super important because these are the people formulating to make sure everything is checked, and they're all signing off saying this is a good, well-rounded product. And then we brought on a chief science officer, Dr. Joshua Plant, who's probably one of the most renowned in the industry for being one of the smartest for formulation. So super excited to have him. Now, when it comes to one of the first products, we all know people come to the gym because they say, I want to lose weight, right? Like, whether that's the right or wrong reason, most people join the gym. It isn't because they necessarily say they want their mood to feel better. Who comes to the gym on January 1st because they say I want a better headspace? No, they want to lose weight, right? But the truth is, weight loss is very complicated. It's more than about what's on that fork. It could be a hormone imbalance. I was there. It could be inflammation. People do that over all the time because they are stressed out. They don't sleep enough. Their gut health is off. Maybe they have too big of an appetite, or maybe they have not enough. Maybe they're insulin resistant. They're not getting enough cellular nutrition. Whatever it is, it's more than about just what is on that fork. This is why I love the product Slenderize, which is a 2-bottle system. First bottle being SlenderX. Okay, so what's in this bottle? We have 11 homeopathic ingredients, and these are just the highlighted points of what it does. 1, curbs appetite. We're not sabotaging, we're curbing. Most typically, people overeat. They put everything on their plate and they feel like they've got to eat it all, right? I used to be that way. We don't want to sabotage because that's what a weight loss product does. It kills it. It throws you into metabolic syndrome. We don't want to do that, but we could say, you don't have to finish that plate. We're going to get you satiated faster. So you would eat a few less calories. That's going to help with the assisting of the release of visceral and subcutaneous fat, along with the fact there's a couple ingredients that will help detox you. So this will assist with weight management, and there are a couple ingredients that will help with digestion. Women love that because, wow, we always feel bloated. Broccoli does that to me. It doesn't matter when. If I eat broccoli and I'm not using drops or my Giving Greens, my stomach swells. It doesn't do that when I'm using drops or I'm using my Giving Greens. It's a different product, but specifically, we're going to help support your digestion, okay? Accelerate. I love this bottle because this is the mood enhancer. It does have a blend of vitamins and adaptogens. We have methylated B12 in here. This is the B12 that's going to be found in nature. It's what's found in food, most bioavailable form that you can take, and your body's going to use it to help your metabolism and your energy. We also have B7 in here, which is biotin. Obviously, that's good for your hair, skin, and nails. Women love that, but it's going to help with the assisting of breaking down your macronutrients, which again is helping your metabolism. It's helping feed your cells. Then we have the adaptogens, ashwagandha and rhodiola. Those are going to be your cortisol helpers. Cortisol is linked to belly fat. We don't like that, right? I'm 40. I don't want belly fat. And I heard every 10 years it even gets harder. So if cortisol is up, guess what else is up? Insulin. But if I can get my cortisol to naturally come down, then insulin can come down. It doesn't matter if you're running low glycemic or not. If you have high cortisol, you're going to be running high insulin, and we don't want that. So those 2 ingredients can help get that cortisol down and help you rest, help stabilize the mood. And there's a few ingredients that will help your immune system, like the acerola cherry and rose hips. Christy probably doesn't know, but I'm going to pull her up in just a minute with her pictures. so she can think about that. But if you are here because you're thinking, man, those two bottles sound good because I do struggle with some inflammation, or I'm a little stressed out. I wonder if those would help with that. But I really would like to lose some weight. This is the approved food list that comes along with the package. This is how we all should be eating. Now, I know you're looking at it and there may be a few things on there thinking, well, there's some of my favorite things on there with the fruits. Just when you're trying to lose weight, we want to keep your blood sugars nice and stable. And that's what this list does, okay? It just keeps it where we're not spiking and we're not dropping. We're not spiking, we're not dropping, because that makes you hungry. But if you can run stabilization for a while, you will be in fat burning mode, not fat storing mode. And that is the plan if you're here for the weight loss. So here she is. So, Christy, do you want to talk about the drops? Because I know this was probably your first product, to really get going on.
Yeah, you know, I've done it twice now. And you can cheat on these drops and you can do great on these drops. And so, but the drops work. It happens to be that it's the real estate between the brain, right? You're just like, you've got to focus. And so, I've been using these drops for a long time. A lot of it was because I needed to lose weight, of course, and I did. And then I could cheat my weight right back up, because that's life. Life is like that. We can cheat through everything. But when you get it right and you follow program and you feel the results of what the program does. See, I was the insulin person. I really do struggle with my blood sugars. And so if you're constantly cheating on program, you're never going to get to that fat burning stage. And I did have a scare health wise that really forced me into this in December. So from December to now, this picture was just taken the other day. I've lost 46 pounds because I followed the program. Okay. And now I've implemented exercise, which, Kristen, I know you're totally proud of me, but the thing is that I didn't even feel like exercising. That person on the left didn't feel like exercising. That person was tired all the time, doing for everybody else except for herself. And so December was my start of the new year. And it was just about me. It was going to be about me. And so that's where I started to change, is like with the scare helped, of course, why do we always wait for the scare, right? And so, but the thing is that I've only been working out for maybe 3 months, probably religiously working out like 5 days a week. Not because I hate exercise, you guys. Kristen's like, oh, Christy, why do you hate exercise? I do. I fight it. But I do have a son that's very much in the fitness world, and he just doesn't want to see his parents die, from not having exercise. And so he's always honest and on us to do better. And I just made a commitment 3 months ago. Well, in December, but then 3 months ago, I was like, okay, I'm going to the gym and making it a habit and going. And yes, I know, Kristen, you're right. Everybody feels better exercising. I mean, I don't think I'll ever be like Kristen, because man, you got to see this girl work out. But the thing is that I'm there and I'm starting, and it's because of the drops that got me to that point, and because I followed what I was supposed to do. And I didn't give in to, the temptations of cheating. So there you go.
So a lot of times it is the drops that segues you in. So
Yeah.
for novice people, it could be the drops. But I will say a lot of unnovice people would love the drops too, because I was there in 2013 and I had hormone imbalance. So, and I used them. So they are for everybody. So we have sold over 1 million sets of this. They work globally. This is not just an American product. I always like to throw that out. This because it hits so many different avenues of why weight loss is complicated. They work in Japan, they work in Australia, they work in Canada, they work in Mexico, they work in the United States. So, but I am going to go into Renew, because Renew happens to be my favorite product. I say that a lot, by the way. And I might open up a lot of Zooms where I say, this is my favorite product. But for a very long time, well, at least for 4 years now, I have said Renew is my favorite product. And it really is in the top three. I think it's formulated wonderfully. I think it is so like the science behind it is so cool. Like, you know, when you get your brand new iPhone and you want to like see all that it can do, it's like technology, right? It's so advanced. That is what this product is. It is really, truly advanced. And what it does in your body is incredible. So if you don't know what human growth hormone is, that is what Renew actually helps boost, okay? So human growth hormone is a peptide hormone. It is produced by the pituitary gland. What it does, it helps play a role in growth and development. We know in childhood, my child is 10, she's got a ton of it right now. But we still need it as we age and as we live. It helps regulate metabolism, repair and regenerate tissues, maintaining muscle and bone mass. You do not want to live without HGH. It is the highest during your sleep, and Christy is now getting another hit of it because she has chosen to exercise. So she's getting a little more hit of HGH, okay? How does it help your fitness? Now, I've got to talk about the hormone first so you can understand why the hormone is so important, why you want it, why you don't want to lose it, and why if maybe you have lost it, how we could get it back up. So let's talk about what the hormone does in relation to fitness, okay? And maybe your physique. Maybe you're like, hey, I do want to work out to look better. I'm here for that. That could be it. That's fine too, okay? I was once there. I worked out for total vanity reasons. It just depends on where you're at. But let's talk about how HGH works on this. It doesn't just burn fat, because by the way, it does. It actually helps your entire metabolism make your body leaner. It's true. HGH makes you hold less fat. That's pretty good. And if you can get it off, it's very hard for that fat to want to come back because of these reasons. The fat breakdown that HGH helps do. So HGH activates hormone-sensitive lipase. We know lipase is an enzyme that plays a key role in breaking down triglycerides, and moving those triglycerides out for energy. But specifically, this hormone-sensitive lipase does this, okay? And we want that to happen because it means your body will use this fat for fuel instead of glycogen. So I know this could get a little technical, but just follow with me. That's a good thing because we're using fat that's stored on me somewhere instead of the glycogen that I've stored. We store glycogen in our muscles and we store them in our liver, okay? So that leads you into section 2. Because I'm using the fat for my fuel, I'm going to be carbohydrate sparing. So by pushing the fat to the fuel and using the free fatty acids or the ketones that maybe I had stored, HGH will preserve that glycogen in my liver and in my muscles. Now, that's also a great thing if you're here for performance, so that my performance people tune up. If you're a performance person, it's very important to save your glycogen, right? That helps you in your endurance races. It helps you in your weightlifting. It helps you stay mentally sharp, because if your glycogen gets depleted, you're tanking, you're busting, right? You're not running as fast. You're not jumping as high. You're not running as far. I don't want my glycogen to run out. Or otherwise, I've got to be doing something racing, which is, you could still be good to be, getting that glucose back in. It's very cool that this will happen because I'm saving up glycogen stores. 3, it will help your body stay insulin balanced. So we'll actually have a counter effect to insulin. It will actually kind of tell your cells, so when your insulin's released, insulin tells your cells, open up, feed out, put this glucose in. But we don't want too much glucose to go in because it makes you insulin resistant, right? So it can actually make you where you're a little more insulin sensitive, and it can kind of keep a little glucose out, which is actually good because then your brain can get fed more glucose. That's the fuel source for your brain. Your organs could get a little bit more. Your body's using a little more glucose for fuel at the time, so it's not getting put into those cells, because guess what happens when it gets put in those cells and gets over flooded? If you don't use it, it gets stored to glycogen. If it doesn't get stored, if your glycogen stores get too high, you store it as fat. And that's how people start gaining weight. So it can actually help with your insulin balance as well. And then obviously our protein, it helps spare your protein. If you're not using your protein stores, obviously for fuel, that's also keeping your metabolism high and also keeping your body building muscle, staying repaired, and instead of using the muscle for energy. So to me, that is so incredibly cool that this one hormone affects all of these different layers. HGH and recovery. So this is for everybody. So I kind of just spoke to you fitness people. This is for fitness people too, but this is also for everybody because everybody needs recovery. Everybody needs collagen. Everybody needs bone. Everybody needs tissue repair. So muscle regeneration. If you are working out or if you get hurt for any reason, your muscles will regenerate quicker. This is what happens when you train hard, you have the micro tears. Basically, that's an injury to the muscles, and HGH will stimulate what is called satellite cells. They're little cells around muscle fibers. And when you micro tear or you hurt yourself, these satellite cells say, go repair, go repair. And then they go in and they start repairing the muscle damage. What happens is your muscles get bigger, stronger, and then they recover. They get bigger, the stronger they recover. So that's why people in workout, the workout world, they get stronger, they get bigger, they get denser. The muscle regeneration is happening. HGH signals that. Obviously, it helps with protein synthesis, keeping the amino acids moving into the cells. You need protein synthesis for everything. Your cells, your tissues, your hormones, everything starts there. And then, of course, we love collagen production. So muscles are not the only thing that need repair. Your tendons, your ligaments, your cartilage, your fascia. You always want that to be, stretchy. You want it to have elasticity. Otherwise, you could be prone to injury. And that's not just people working out. I know people that walk down the street and tear their ACLs. Keep your joints, healthy. Keep them, smooth. That is super important. And obviously collagen, ladies, you can do less, things in those spas if you have some of this going in. And then it will make your bones denser, okay? Because it will help with the stimulation of the osteoblasts. So it can help create new bone. And then wound healing and tissue regeneration. So now you see the benefits of human growth hormone. Just some. I literally just touched some, by the way. I didn't even touch the magnitude of everything it did. I just talked about what I felt like for fitness and exercise, it really touches on. But let's talk about how this product works now and why I think it's one of the coolest ones we offer. And it's really a builder product, so you can't expect to take one pouch and be like, well, where's my HGH? It's not how this one works, okay? But if you invest in a month or 2 months, you will notice a difference. You'll see a difference. So let's talk about this. This right here is the hypothalamus, and it's going to send a signal to the pituitary gland to say, you should make some HGH, okay? When HGH is made at the brain, or sends the signal and it's made at the pituitary gland, it's either going to go into the bloodstream or it's going to go to the liver. And then it's going to be made into another hormone. But it's going to do all the things I just told you, whether it's doing cellular repair, muscle bone growth, or tissue. The problem is when we age, unfortunately, the production of this hormone goes down. Sometimes age is not the only reason it goes down. You know, your cell phone can actually make it go down because of that little blue light. Um, your foods, there's so many environmental factors now. I would imagine that 20, this is a chart, a standard chart, but I would imagine that this 20-year-old now probably doesn't have that as much as they used to when I was 20. Nonetheless, you can see the decline happens, okay? Aging, poor diet, yes, exercise will help it go up. So if you're not exercising, you might consider, hey, I could help my HGH. Poor sleep patterns. I'm a stickler for going to bed at 9:30. If you've ever traveled with Crystal Vance, y'all know Crystal, she calls me the oldest 40, at the time I was probably 39 the last time she traveled with me, the oldest 39-year-old she knew, because I would go to bed, it doesn't matter. I'm going to bed at 9:30 Central Standard Time. It's terrible that I'm this stickler about it. But my body, like I think I'm on a rhythm because I know actually within that 2 hour hit of me going to bed at 9:30, my HGH is going to be the highest at about 11 o'clock, 11:30. Like that's what the stats show. The surplus will hit about 2 hours after you go to sleep. It'll still continue, but the surplus is going to be then. And your body's ready to actually shoot it out. But if you have poor sleep patterns, your body doesn't know when to go. You've got to be asleep for it because it's going to come during a certain sleep cycle. Okay. So obviously abnormal hormonal situations will make the decline as well. So regardless of all those facts, how could we get it to come back up? Because we can, because there are two reasons when we age that this hormone can be blocked. Okay, there is a hormone inhibiting hormone called somatostatin that raises as you age. And then there's an enzyme our body actually produces as well, called DPP4. Unfortunately, when you eat a lot of sugar, that enzyme goes up too. Isn't it just crazy how I just said low glycemic index food with those drops actually helps your body? It all works in synchrony. So we want to get you off sugar, and then we want to help you block some of these enzymes as well. So this is what this product does. We want to block somatostatin and we want to block DPP4. The cool thing is there's patent pending on this product to show that we can do that. By 99.999%, we can block DPP4 with a signal boosting blend. You can see what's in it. It's all natural. We have no synthetics in here. It is a all natural blend. It's food and amino acids. Then we have another blend, an amino acid blend, that's going to help block somatostatin. Specifically, the L-arginine and the L-lysine, those two alone can block somatostatin. I've researched that by themselves. This is all in one. Then of course we're giving you a restorative blend, and that's going to help you sleep because we already said if we can help you sleep, your HGH will go up. And then if you notice, all these little vitamins right here work in synchrony as one to actually help elevate and have been proven to help open the pathways as well for HGH production. So to me, it is the perfect formulation. It's why it is patent pending, because we don't want anybody to be able to copy this, because when people, if you try this and you get a hold of it and you get sold on it, you will never come off of it. This is what HGH does just in general for bullet point purposes, just so you can say, what does it do exactly? It does help build muscle and bone mass, decreases central fat. I've already told you why it does that. Improve insulin sensitivity, improves cardio health. Obviously, your heart's a muscle. Improves mood, cognition, helps with your sleep and sexual function. Okay? And again, a little bit more of that. When that would be increased with, healthier skin and nails, improved energy, all of those things. Oh, I thought I had my picture on here. Maybe I didn't. Oh, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to unskip the slide because I normally don't show my pictures. But this is my pictures for Renew. The far left, I was 35. I had not touched the product yet. And it had not been given to me yet, offered to me yet. That was in 2020. The center picture, I'd been on the product for 3 years. Obviously, I'm 3 years older. And then the far right, I'm 40. And it again, I don't know if I can't claim for sure it's the product, but it didn't do anything different with my training. I don't do anything different with my food. I'm pretty boring. You should just see we're pretty boring over here. And I'm not perfect, Christy. I'm not perfect, but I'm good 90% of the time. But I put all of this quality stuff in, and I'm getting older. I should be getting fatter. I'm not. I'm hoping by 50 I'll be like a total rock star because I'm going to stay on this stuff forever because I refuse to not feel the way I feel right now. So I'm going to come back to y'all because that's really all I have. I'm going to quit sharing my screen if I can figure out how.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So, and I'm just gonna be, it's, it's all about me, right? So here's the thing, this is my me year, right? So I, I take two at night. I actually do two. There's nothing wrong with that, is there?
I do too.
You do too. Okay. I do too, because I felt like I needed it when I started exercising. Now, I had not been on Renew. I messed around with it when it first came out. I only noticed that I slept better, but really I was kind of a mess, right? And so 3 months ago when I started working out, I'm like, John, I'm gonna take Renew. And then I was just like, I'm gonna take two Renew. Because I had talked to a few people and they were like, yeah, I'm doing two too. So, um, so I want you to know some of the things I'm noticing and you can explain it. Okay. One, uh, I feel like, well, John is always saying you're aging backwards. Okay. So I feel like because I've lost weight, I'm starting to, I'm loose. And I felt like I was loose before because I started working out and I was like, man, I'm losing weight, but it's really soft. I'm soft. So I just started working out. But what I did notice was it felt like my legs were tighter. Not just because I'm doing some weights, but I just felt like it just kind of, does that make sense to you? Like it just
Probably the collagen production.
okay.
Mhm.
All right. And so of course I noticed sleep is better.
Mhm.
I some of the other reasons, we won't even talk about libido, but the thing is libido's better, okay? And good for me, right? Good for me, good for him.
Good for
But
John.
good for us. But I also feel that like it said on the box, it said that it help with weight management. It says that on there. And I'm just like, how does it really help with weight management? And so what is that? Explain that part. The weight, I know you just went over it, but
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, so obviously it's helping with that because of the way your body's breaking down fat now for fuel. So
okay.
it's literally shifting your metabolism. It literally is going to help shift the way your body is going to use fat and the way it's going to help you be more insulin sensitive and the way it's going to take on the glucose. It
Okay.
literally, and but that's honestly when we talk about weight, we know sugar's the enemy, right?
Right. And here I am pre-diabetic, because I suffer,
It
I
will,
have
it's going to
hypoglycemia.
help this.
Yeah. And so I have noticed I'm not ever really having the sugar things anymore. And I
Because
did
when you get the
notice,
blood sugar stable and it actually helps that, you're actually not going to crave the sugar either.
which that would help so many people like me who are just like, when you lose your sugar and you're just like, you're ravaging, just trying to feel
Hmm.
better because that sugar went down. And I was never put on diabetic medicine, but my mom's whole side is all diabetic. So I knew, really we become our genetics if we let it and we can change it. And that's what I felt like I was doing. I felt like I wasn't getting enough protein because I noticed some of my hair. I just like, and so my doctor's like, you need branched amino acids. Well, I start doing my research and there's a lot of branched amino acids in this. And that's why I doubled up. I'm like, good for skin, good for hair. because when you start losing weight, I don't want the jowls. I don't want this, or else I'm having surgery. But the thing is I don't want to do that if I don't have to. So I just really feel like this has helped, like suck things up a little. Not all the way, but I'm still, I'm 3 months in. So, but I totally can feel the difference. Is there any questions that have come
Just a couple of
here?
answers. No, someone asked that has anyone ever experienced insomnia with Renew? I know with the previous version,
I think it's
there's only maybe
Yeah.
10% of people who have that effect. So if that's affecting you with sleep, then you should take it in the morning
I think
or
it's
during the day.
1%, John. I don't think it's 10%.
And the first,
My husband actually has to take his early. Um, the niacin in it, it could be that. Just very small percentage of the population, I think they say about 10
Mhm.
has to do theirs in the day. And so you will still have good so actually I have one more. I have a lady I train at the construction company I do classes for. She has to take hers early in the day, but she said she still she has slept good at night by doing that in the day. Where she took it right before bed, she couldn't sleep, but she noticed if she does it early, she's sleeping good at night. So, sometimes you have to play with it. If it makes me sleep fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank God I'm in that 90% because I had sleep trouble before, but you can take it early.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have felt a difference on it. And if you're not feeling a difference on it, you got to give it time. I remember talking to you when it first, like long time ago, you were like, it's a 6 month. You got to
Mhm.
stay, you got to be on it for 6 months to really see things change. But with exercise, I think you experience a whole different ball of
It
wax.
really is a builder. And I always say, look at where you are on that chart because you really can't expect, when I first started, I was, 30s, and I was like, I probably didn't have a whole lot of HGH that I needed to boost up.
Mhm.
But my dad was in his 60s and he was like, that stuff don't work. And I was like, you take it. You take it. Well, he did. And now he doesn't go without it. He was like, he was on it like month 3 and I went over to his house and he was outside chopping wood. I was like, who is this man? He's like, I just feel great. I have all this energy. And I was like, oh, it's working. Because he had the
Yeah.
stamina again, I was like,
Good.
it's that Renew. I just know it's that Renew, you know. So he puts it in my mom's drink, and I don't even want to hear his libido stories. Don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's
he
like,
says he gives it to my mom.
yeah.
I'm like, stop it. But apparently it works still. So it's a builder product, right?
Right. And I think that's what's so important, whether you're a performer, like not you want performance in the gym, or if you're
Yes.
just me, just starting out, just trying to get, I've seen a difference, but then you have seen really big difference.
I have so I wear a fancy Garmin and I have true stats that show my performance increased in the first year using it. First month, first 3 months, I was getting signals saying you're running faster with less effort. And I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I doing? So it's again my top three in my top three. Thank God it tastes so good now too. I didn't care. I was gonna
Yeah.
drink it no matter what, but now
Now
tastes
it tastes good.
wonderful. Yeah.
Right. It could change. Absolutely. I want to thank you, but I also want to make sure that people know, tune in next Wednesday. This is recorded, so we can always have this recording. And I think it's super important to share with people who are looking for the right supplementation, either in their own gym, personal trainer, just average people. Okay. But next week we'll talk about 2 others. I know a couple of them were mentioned on here. One was Finale. I think we should talk about Finale a little bit next week because I love that and you love that. I know, and you have also really good reasons to love that as well, but which is your father. But anyway, we want to keep you posted and we hope you got something from this. I think it was really good. It's just like down home talk. Let's just talk about it and let's just if there's any questions that we can go over just the last few minutes, we got them.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying thank you. Let's tune in next Wednesday. Get your friends in. You invite friends, but if you have an interest in what was mentioned tonight, you need to get to the person that invited you to this and they will help you help you get you will be blessed with these products because they are done right. They are done right. Thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. Look forward to the next one.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.